blending families, man. Now we're going with we running down the line from generational curses to
Like,
blending
share,
families.
subscribe.
Uh, so how does this work, man? Like, especially in this day and age, man.
Okay.
Do you discipline?
Yes.
Like,
It
what
depends on
type of
the.
discipline? Like, our discipline is, you know, hands on ass. You know what I mean? And
I say that depends on the rapport that you have with the child.
okay,
You
okay,
can't not build a relationship with a child and then tell them what to do, number one. And number two, enforce that telling them what to do with some type of physical threat of corporal punishment or even uh, removing objects that they've been told belong to them.
right,
It's just not going to go over well.
okay.
Uh,
Um,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I'm just saying I didn't understand. I never had this. I never been in this type of situation. I was just wondering, uh, just to put it out there, just to have a discussion on, especially like I said, in this day and age, as far as because everything is so like, hey,
Illegal?
yeah, that part, you can't really do too much. So how does that work in this day and age? I should have put that in there as well. This day and age, blending families and the discipline aspect of it.
Mm.
Hey man, I'm a firm believer in that you don't put your hands on nobody, man. And trust me, I haven't always been like this. Like I got two kids. My son's 24, my daughter is 11. And I've raised them completely differently. When I was a young man and I had my son, I was treating him like I was treated growing up.
But
It was, I say it once, you listen to what I say, and if you don't, then there's some punishment in there. You're gonna get a
Consequences and
whooping, that type of shit.
repercussions.
yeah,
Um, but that was completely wrong. It was 100% wrong. I have found that once you explain to a child the consequences of their actions that they're going to take, or just consequences associated with certain acts, and you get it to where they understand it, then they won't run down that path.
mm,
It's once you get a child to understand where you're coming from, and that the punishment will be on them if they go down this line. Like, I'm here to guide you. I brought you into this world. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to show you right and wrong. But this is your life, and you need to make your own choices. And you need to make wise choices. Here's what I would do in this situation. Here's what you shouldn't do in this situation. This is what happens when things when you do things that you shouldn't do in this situation. You are more than welcome to do it, but I can tell you that you don't want to. But
right,
if you explain things logically to a child, kids will get it. They'll understand. And if you keep them close, you
right,
keep them kids close,
right,
man. You don't.
right, right.
That's a thing. Like, you need to supervise children. Um, yeah, you just can't drop somebody off into the world dark. And a lot of times that's what we do. We sit them in front of a TV,
Yeah,
and they get all this bullshit, and they're like, and granted, my child does get way too much television. She gets way too much screen time, but
there's conversations,
yeah,
to back
yeah.
all that stuff up, because just spending time with her, her mind is so, gosh, she is your child. Her mind is so advanced or whatever. Just her conversation is far from basic. She's not, you look at her or whatever, you wouldn't think she's that age by her conversation. Just sitting there talking to her, hell, not even talking to her, just listening to the back and forth. Like, you guys have a conversation. I'm just sitting there like, wow, I'm watching a fucking tennis match. Like, dude, how the hell are you returning that serve? You know what I mean? Because she's asking some shit, and it's kind of like, shit, I want to know. Seriously, dude, what, how does that work? But that's what it is. But with this topic, how do you do that with somebody else's?
Hey man,
Who doesn't
Especially,
have that? Who doesn't have it's like they say, they go off to their grandparents' crib and then they come back home and they're completely fucked up. You know what I mean? Because they had the run of the place, and now you got to reprogram them. Like I said, doing a blended family, the same shit. They go off to their, the dad or the mother, and the mother and them, it's like somewhat of a competition. Like, shit, you're gonna have the best time when you with me because I'm trying to outshine the other partner or whatever, and sometimes that messes with the kid, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they can have their way and do whatever and say whatever and do whatever on this side, but when they come home now, it's discipline,
or
it's rules.
Or what if the grandparents are running down one of the parents in front of the children to other people?
That part
and the children come home with the attitude every time, almost like they don't have to listen to the one parent.
That part.
They're repeating those things to press buttons.
Because at grandma's in the house, it's a go. At home, it's a no-go.
Yeah.
And then, how about this? I'm in a scenario. I'm raising another man's child that's the same age as my oldest child. They're born a month and a half apart, and they've known each other since they were in diapers.
Yeah, that's not awkward. That's not awkward at all. But yeah, you're handling it, the best way you see fit without losing your fucking mind,
Especially when the father's not really present.
Right.
Except for occasionally when it feels like it.
Right.
And so it's caused issues for the child to act out in ways that will definitely provoke if you're not mature enough to handle. I mean, you know what I mean? Like serious issues, destroying things.
Yeah.
That you're working hard to bring into your house and build up.
And like he did what now because of so-and-so didn't show up?
Oh, he didn't mean to. The hell he didn't.
But he will mean to pay for it, though. Yeah, he will mean that. He will replace that, one way or the other,
But it took about 4 years of different approaches.
Okay.
Different applications. Like Tank said, I keep trying to tell the other parent, hands-on isn't, you think you're doing something,
right?
But I'm watching a young man become hardened. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Eventually that's going to turn into something else.
Yeah.
That you can't control at all.
Yeah.
No matter what you say or do.
Yeah, then you're gonna need backup. Because once he gets on your ass, you ain't gonna be able to get him off. Like you're gonna go to raise up, and then he's gonna raise up, and then there's gonna be a situation.
Or cower down and come back around the corner.
That part.
Yeah, man, but it should never get to that situation. Like if you have that much tension between you and the child, man, there's something fundamentally wrong in your relationship.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because the vibe is off in the crib. If your kids are settling the violence, it's a reflection of you. That's how you have been around that child. It's like if you want to settle every beef with putting your hands on somebody, like how you do disciplining a child, that's how they're going to carry on in life. They think when they get frustrated, they're going to slap the shit out of somebody. And that's, you can't live life like that.
Generational
it's not healthy.
Curse. That's the generational
one
curse.
Thing I learned from my parents is what didn't work and what did work, and why even what did work worked even though it was wrong, and then being able to realize that even though it worked, it was wrong. Why? Because now it's manifest things in you that only surface when under stress response, when certain things are said, and then I hate to use that word, but it triggers a reaction that you don't even realize is below the surface yourself.
Right.
So now you realize that somebody can control you.
Yeah.
Somebody can control you until you get that together. And a child shouldn't be able to control you. Not in that way. You should be able to like Tank said, explain until they understand. Repetition is the father of learning, and necessity is the mother of invention. And so those two dynamics, even in the same sex relationship, those two energetic dynamics have to have a meeting of the minds to coordinate. What is discipline? What's the definition? Is it spanking a child because you're angry? I mean, even if that was still allowed,
right?
Should you do it when you're angry?
Right, because that's what it is. What they say, are you smarter? What's that show? Are you smarter than a fifth grader? Yeah, you know what I mean. And as you run out of patience, a lot of we experienced. Our parents just ran out of words and was just like, you know what, I'm done talking. Now I got to let this belt loose.
Mm-hmm.
I told you this is what's gonna happen when you did this, and it was like, well, technically I didn't do it. It just kind of happened, but okay, I'll take this L.
Even when I thought that was the methodology, the proper answer, right? What always caused the inner conflict for me was knowing that those things came out of slavery.
Yes,
gotcha.
And then in my own family, knowing that at least on one side of my family there was never any slavery that we know of. I'm talking about going back almost 400 years.
Okay.
So where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
The school system.
Yeah.
I had to think back when I was in preschool, and I told a kid to shut up. The teacher said, "Give me your hand." What am I giving you my hand?
Whack. Yeah.
With a ruler. A hard-ass wooden ruler with the little metal thing going down through.
Yeah. Oh, we got cracked. Like, put your hand on this desk.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got paddled,
Yep.
Their parents signed off on that shit. And it was like, and if we think about it, I think about it now, man. I remember when a teacher literally broke a paddle on a kid's ass. It had holes in it, like a wiffle ball or whatever. It was just like some old fraternity shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh my, the sound that it made. I mean, it literally cracked some shit. It was, pants was on and everything, but still you felt that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, it was a different time, I guess. And the stuff that we live through now is fucking illegal now. Illegal. People could go to jail for how they raised us.
Big time. And the larger the age gap, the more trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you're talking about siblings, parents and children, even adult children living at the home, DV, they have different degrees now of domestic violence that they'll charge your ass with.
Yeah.
And sit you down somewhere.
Fucking crazy, man. Like I said, man, it's with this whole blended family, because everybody's, coming together for all the, for whatever reason, because it's just cheaper. It's the only way we can move. We all going to need each other, and with that being said, families will be blended, whether you bringing in kids or you bringing in somebody's parents,
mm-hmm.
It's it is what it is right now.
Facts.
Yeah. But I don't know how much are we actually blending families? Is that something that's happening more and more nowadays, or less and less?
Have you seen the housing market? You know what I mean? People are moving in with everybody.
Facts. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, you can't, where you going to go?
Now, the flip side of that question, look at the marriage rate. At least in our community, it's gone down.
Yeah.
Less of our women. And I don't know what the percentages or numbers are of single mothers. I don't know what that is anymore. But if you do the math, no, you're right. They're not. And if they are, they're interracial, or like Ed said, it's people rooming.
Yeah.
I'll take this quadrant of the house. This is our bathroom.
Yep.
You stay down there.
It's out of necessity.
We all eat together at the same times.
Right. It's out of necessity, not because this is what we choose to do. It's just baseline necessity. For what I'm paying, we could just split a house instead of me trying to, go it alone. And like Jay just broke down, this your side, this my side. our fridge is in the garage, your fridge is in the kitchen, then let's keep it pushing, you know, like 4 or 5 generations in one house due to a pandemic, you know, shit slowing down.
And that also speaks to what we were talking about earlier with the Sister Love.
Yeah.
We're not taught. You buy those things through an LLC. The problem that people are struggling with certain things is come together with somebody and stop trying to be the single entrepreneur, invest,
pull your
start
money,
an S corp, an investment corp, buy it through that. No one's on the hook, and everybody's pulling together.
Yeah, we don't do that. Like you said, we how she brilliantly broke it down, saying, you know, people taking on this debt by starting their own business by themselves, and like, you haven't made any money. What are you celebrating? Right. That it's just open. Right. Now that you're open, you know, the tab is running. You know, let's talk 4 or 5 months down the line, you know, because what most businesses fail within the first 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Whether it's a restaurant or whatever, you know, most, you know, startups. So for her to have that perception and, you know, that foresight, it's, you know, it's impeccable, man. How she just broke that down. Like, what the fuck are you celebrating?
Yeah.
You don't have anything yet. It's just the name on the flyer. Yes, grand opening. To what? Debt.
It's almost as bad, like as Tank was alluding, not just alluding, but stated, the waste of an education. You got a degree and what?
Right.
200, 300, sometimes even 1,000 or more people just graduated with you with the same bachelor's of science, the same master's of business administration.
Yeah.
Where are you going to work?
When the economy just shut down, what are you going to do? Put that on top. Put that on top of the competition that the economy has just fucking stopped. That plus competition, plus, you know, let's keep it a buck, you know, race. You know, you're gonna find, you know, 3-4 different generations and different, you know, families in one crib, just out of necessity.
Shoot, when I was down in Columbus and some other cities, Orlando, that I've lived in, and I saw the Central Americans and Mexicans and various other groups, they had no problem sharing living quarters until everybody could go it alone.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
It only makes sense when you don't have that crab in the bucket mentality. Because we have that, we gotta shine.
True.
We gotta, you know, no matter what, even in the hood, we gotta shine. That whole hood rich mentality. I hate that.
Yeah.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
I hate that fucking mindset, but that's what it is.
None of them was on that, and they shared everything. When I say they shared everything, if I'm getting a cerveza, bro, you got a cerveza. We all drinking cervezas. I don't drink. Okay, well, here's a cerveza. You got to hold the can, bro. Right. Whoever's still thirsty gets that one when you know, because you don't want it. But everybody's getting one.
It's moving as a unit. They don't look at it as, you know, they look down on if somebody's in my circle and they're not, you know, fulfilling their end, you know, they pull them up. You know what I mean? Everybody, you know, is going it at the same rate. Nobody's lacking. Everybody's pulling their weight, no matter what. We're going to make sure he's straight, because if he ain't straight, I'm not straight. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we all legs of a chair. You know what I mean? We all have to be on point for this shit to work. And I applaud that mindset, but we don't have that. And it's like, shit, I got mine. You better get yours.
Yeah.
You know, once we get through those doors, you know, the cat will shut, you know, deadbolt that door.
Yeah.
And then turn around and be like, who is it?
Yeah.
And motherfucker, I was on your heels. Who is it? You know, we tend to get brand new when we get a little bit of money, you know, just a little bit. But, you know, it is what it is, fam.
But they used to say, you want to see how a dude really feel? Really, they would say an N-word. You want to see how inward really feel? Give him some money. Let him come into some money. Put a gun in his hand or get him drunk.
Yeah. See where he at. See where he at
He'll
with it.
tell you how you feel about you.
Yeah. Indeed. What we got next, my brother?
Shit. It's the last one of the night, bro.
All right.